So who is Mike? say things when we frustrated, and you know.
This Rachel Nichols. I think comments talking about Maria Taylor. I'm gonna get in on this conversation. I'm gonna try to put the link in the top If you look in the chat, there's a click in. If you want to talk about this topic. It's a rainy day in South Georgia. I'm checking in. Let me know if the spelling's all right on the game. How's my mic? Just give me 1 second, folks. Yes. Hit them likes up. Hit those likes up. Hit that notification bell. And like I said, if you want to chat with me, go in the description box. Click on that link. Give me your 2 cents. Yes. My homie might be co-hosting with me. We'll see. I text him real quick. Let me tell him that I'm on. Give me a second here. Yeah, but anyway. Hey, man. Ooh, some news, some heat up in there, man. What's going on in ESPN? Yes, let me get my water here. Start off slow today. It's a rainy day today down here in South Georgia. We're supposedly getting a tropical storm. I believe it's a Category 1. It's by Cuba. So I think it'll be here on Wednesday. So I'm going to try to do a show on Wednesday on our TNJ radio show. We'll see. Hopefully the power don't go out. But, I mean, usually tropical storms is not that bad. Shout out for the people who live in South Georgia. I see you in the queue. Just give me 1 second. Appreciate your time here. Yeah, man. So we get in this tropical storm, so I'm gonna try to get on the show, our TNJ radio show. Real show, man. If you want to go there and learn something, we usually have some dope guests on there. Shout out to Swanee G. He's always on there. Shout out to Fawn. Fawn actually gave me some music to play, so I like that. You know, he's an artist and he's sensitive about his ish. Yeah. So anyway, we getting this storm down here, and I moved down here South Georgia from Michigan in 2014. So around 2016, that's when I really started experiencing the weather down here. Now I love the weather. It's extremely hot all year round. I loved it. Coming from the north, living in Pittsburgh for my whole life, I got tired of the snow. Got tired of snow, so I'm down here. I did like Michigan. I felt like Michigan was a big Pittsburgh. It was huge. It had like 3 casinos and so much things to do there. Until I got the receipt in the winter. It was really bad. I remember I had to go to, and it was so cold that my car wouldn't start. And it was a new car. I told my wife, pack your bags, we gotta get the heck out of here. So we spent the globe, like if you watch that movie, Coming to America, where they spent the globe and where you want to go, and we stopped it and it said, South Georgia. So we've been down here ever since. And it's fine. Like the winters is lovely. Like I don't even know where my winter coat is, I don't even know where it is. But summertime, man, shoot, so hot. But anyway, so we got this tropical storm coming, and usually I would prepare. I don't have a generator. I need to get one. I keep being lazy about getting one. The one time I was here, it was a storm was coming through. It was coming through Panama City, so I live closer to like Tallahassee-ish area, and my family called me the storm tracker. Just have it on my phone. I'm not playing around. So I was going to stay because I stayed in the Category 1 before, and I stayed in Category 2. I'm sitting at the window watching these trees and stuff like that. But now, respect to the people who live this stuff. They about that life. They usually have, what do you hurricane parties? If anybody heard of that, hit that like button. They have hurricane parties. They don't play. They down there dancing in the rain, and they have the little generator. Everybody go to one house or whatever. But me, be paranoid. Now I remember my mom was down here one year, and we had these tornadoes come through. Man, that woman was scared. Truth be told, I was too, but don't tell her that. Hopefully you're not watching. But anyway, so we got the storm coming, man. So I ain't too prepared for it, but hopefully once it land on the land, start slowing down. Anyway, I think it's like Jamaica-ish. Well, what I want to do is I want to talk about this Rachel Nichols situation. Now, bear with me a little bit because I have. Now, shout out to the avid readers out here. I'm actually reading this book right here. I usually do a book of the month. I decided to get this one, $40 million. Put it on my social media. It's starting off slow, but it's a pretty good book. Pretty good read. What I want to do is I want to talk about this Rachel Nichols situation. Now, before I put you on, Will, I'm gonna put you on in a minute, but just keep back. So hit those likes, man, if you want watching it. But anyway, now I love basketball. my dad wanted to play. I thought I could play. Didn't pan out, but I always stayed in the loop of what was going on in the theatrics of basketball. Yeah, fell in love with it for years. Since the real basketball players know that tune. Yes, went to NBC. I mean, when the NBA lost that contract and they went to NBC, that's when I really started watching it. I didn't watch it that much. The whole league was wearing Converses, and the video was grainy. Michael Jordan brought me to basketball. Almost cried when he was getting beat by the Pistons. The Pistons was destroying my. But I watched it, Mike Tyson got us all on, in my generation, boxing. Now, I remember, and I'm going to talk about Nicole Richards' career. Now, her real name is Nicole Alexander. Shout out to Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown put me on something, because before I get into what I don't like to give my opinion at first, because if some people call in, I don't want to sway their opinion. I like to get my opinion last, but I'm going to just do it now. Do it now, son. Do it now. So outside looking in, I believe Rachel Nichols put in that work. She put in that work. I saw her doing football. Shout out to Swanee. Rachel needs to chill. She needs to chill. Now, I was riding with Rachel Nichols when she said this. And I'm going to play her clip right now. But I was with her when she said this. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Okay. Let me go back to this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so here's the clip of Rachel Nichols, what she was talking about, for people who just checking in.
When did you do this sideline reporter job for the NBA Finals? Because guess what that was cleared away for? For Maria to do the hosting for us. Yeah. So, I have declined. I don't know what their next move is, but they are feeling pressure because of all of that. And, I'm trying to figure out how to just, my thing is that I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football, she covers basketball. If you need to give her more things to do because you're feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, which by the way I myself know personally from the female side of it, go for it. Just, find it somewhere else. You're not gonna find it.
Ooh. The heat. Did she say that because
just like a woman?
She's a woman? So I'm riding with her. I'm like, yo, I don't think someone should lose their job, because she always, and from my eye, I saw Rachel having that job with the NBA. But that was just my ignorance. So, yeah. I was like, you know what? I don't think she should lose a job because this other woman is black and she wants the job. If you're doing the job well, I think you should have that job. That's how I thought. And then I listened to Kwame Brown. And Kwame woke me up, man. Shout out to Kwame Brown and his podcasts and he's starting a podcast, but his YouTube page, Bust Life. And then he said this and changed my views and had me research this.
And Max. Allegedly, Miss Nichols, there's a lot of women been ain't liking you for years because this information about you has been known. That ESPN allegedly hired a whole cosmetic staff for you. You was pushed to the top. They used to try to put girdles on you allegedly to hide that pudge. Because you ain't always look like that. And I don't know how they hid that nose. Maybe you got a surgery on it. I don't know. Maybe. But boy, when I first met you, that shit was so long. If you tried to put that motherfucker in a champagne glass, you'd break the fucking glass. Sorry, Max. I know you a hell of a motherfucking white boy, but shit, she tried me first. She shouldn't have said shit about me. She shouldn't have asked Matt a motherfucking thing about me. No, that's your wife, but your wife shouldn't be talking about no man. So that's your bad. So I got a question, Mr. Max and Mike. Did y'all put this lady in position so she can disrespect black folks, brainwash our best players?
Pause it right there. So, like I said with Rachel, I felt like, she worked for this position to get on ESPN. But then, and then I was saying with Miss Taylor, because I think she made a comment saying that she needs to get paid like the rest of the reporters on ESPN, and I disagree. And this is why I disagree with that. I disagree with that because, like Stuart Scott, for instance, a lot of the reason why people was watching ESPN was because of the highlights. Obviously, we didn't have social media back then. We didn't have YouTube where you could just watch the clips. It was Stuart Scott. Stuart Scott. He brought he changed the game. He helped Stephen A. Smith out. All right. Stephen A. ain't have a lane. That was put respect on Stuart Scott. So, I know Rachel's career after he said this, and he's right. There should be questions. So everybody want to say who is he alluding to when he's talking about these two guys, right? Okay, a second here. So Mike was the son that she married. And he has a lot of power, but the most power is through Max Nichols. So people who don't know Max Nichols he is a Jewish guy who basically runs Hollywood. He has some notable movies, which I'll put up later, but and one thing I will say, if you notice, there are 6, I'm going to post this up here. Give me a second here. There's 6 corporations that own all of the media. Let me see if I can pull this up here real quick. I'm going to come down on here. 6 corporations own 90% of the media. I'm trying to get to where I go. If I can. Got to refresh page here. It's still loaded. But let me go back to the screen. Oh, here we go. You can see this. All right. Let's see if I can see it on my. Is this working? Come on. All right, I'm gonna share this again. Share screen. All right, so right here. All right, so hopefully, let's see if you guys can see that. All right. There's 6 companies that own 90% of the media. You have GE, who owns Comcast, NBC, Universal Pictures, Focus Feature. Now, we all know what happened with allegedly with Bill Cosby tried to own part of this company. He got taken down. Right. Then you have News Corp, who owns Fox, Wall Street Journal, News, and New York Post. CBS, Showtime, NFL Network, Jeopardy, 60 Minutes. Now, these are all the media that control how we think. You have Time Warner, they own CNN, HBO, Time Warner, and Warner. Now, look at here. We have Disney. They own other stuff. This is just the notable companies that we're talking about here. They own ABC, ESPN, Pixar, Marvel Studio, Miramax. Now let me get the screen off here. Stop the screen right here. So, shout out to Kwame Brown again. Max, this stuff. Now, in 1989, anybody know a name by Diane Sawyer? Max Nichols married Diane Sawyer, who used to work at CBS, used to be on 60 Minutes back in the 80s. All of a sudden, she started working for ABC. Well, stay with me, Will. I'm getting on just a minute. I just want you to drop this knowledge and get on and tell me about it. What you think? So Diane Sawyer is one of the most powerful women, white women, media, and journalism. And guess who that's pretty much Rachel Nichols' mother-in-law. Right? So, let me go. Let's look at Rachel Nichols' career. She went to Northwestern. She's from Maryland. Her name is actually Ray Alexander, born in 1973. Her career started in 1995. Her notable places where she was working NBA on T, what have you. But she started off working in journalism. 1995, 96, she was in Florida. And then 1996 to 2004, she was working for Washington Capitol Hill. She was covering NHL. Now, isn't this the same stuff that you're talking about with Maria Taylor, saying she was covering all these other stuff? Rachel did the same thing. So from 2004, she gets hired to work at ESPN. Now, you're right, musical artist. This is the objective perspective. Rachel is more qualified. That doesn't mean Maria is unqualified. You're totally right. Totally. But this is the objective perspective today. So, and I agree with it. I mean, she put in the work. But I believe that a lot of this, she got her foot in the door because of nepotism. That's what I believe. But she's great. She's really good at what she do. I watched The Jump. There's not too many women that I watch, and she's one of the. She's really good. But anyway, so 2004. Okay, she got hired at ESPN. In 2013, she left to go to CNN, and that's when she was working with NBA on TNT. In 2016, Rachel turned back to The Jump, which is a good show. And that's one of the things that, what's the guy's name? Kwame talks about on Get Along Game. Because if you watch the show, though, she do have a bunch of African Americans fighting with each other on the show. Because she can't say those things. Skip Bayless do it, CNN does it, Fox News do it. They can't say these certain things, so don't get two African Americans to fight each other. But anyway, Kwame's going after her. So 2013 to 2016, she NBA on TNT, and then she went back to ESPN. And then 2019, she started hosting the NBC finals on ABC. So she has a lot of power. I don't think they fired her or anything yet, but all she had to do is make that call to Diane Sawyer. Now, I did look at a little bit about Maria Taylor's. Now, I watch her on the show. She has what's that? Jason Williams. She covers that NBA and Jalen Rose. And she's doing a good job. Shout out to her. Give her a plug. She's doing a good job on the show. Did she get her job because she's the woman? I don't know. But she's doing a good job. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on here, Will, see what you say. Give me 1 second. All right, let me add you. Hey, Will, how's it going? You're on mute. Let me see if he's still there. I'm going to put him in queue if he's. Well, Will, you're on mute. Put him back in queue.
There we go. Yeah, sorry about that.
Say about this? It's cool.
It's can you hear me okay?
I hear you perfectly.
All right. Multiple layers on this. So, first, I'll start off giving a shout out to these young ladies who are, stepping it up and going into these realms that they typically weren't in. Here's where the challenge is. And situations where if you're getting put there, whether it's from, and I don't know if it's because of her husband, talking about Rachel. I don't know if it's because of her husband, because obviously in addition to that, she's been busting her behind and, working hard, those type of things. But it don't help to have a powerful executive or in your bed,
Right.
So that's one side of it. But the other side is, and I'll always say this, whenever you have certain ideals that are being put in place in the public, if it's a bad idea, it's going to lead to bigger bad ideas. And right now, what we have right here is we have the semifinals of the Oppression Olympics. We have the white woman versus.
Repeat that again.
I said we have the semifinals of the Oppression Olympics.
Okay.
Just let that sink in. We have a white woman who is coming to what was typically a man's domain, and then we have the black woman. And then what we're eventually going to have an issue with is we're going to have the black gay woman, and then eventually the black trans woman. Not saying that that's where it is or making it an LGBT issue, but whenever you're bringing these intersectionality type things into play as your reasoning for putting someone there, rather than just their qualifications, you're going to end up running into these problems.
Okay, well, I have to push back a little bit because Maria Taylor is working for the company and she's doing a very good job with that position. She works well with and she works well with Jalen Rose. And Rose is a big part of ESPN, and also Jason Williams, and they are supporting her because recently she came and said that she wanted to make much as money as the guys, and they support her. What do you say about that?
Well, here's what I would say is this. Number one, we're always looking at the viewers. Honestly, I think that the women who are in those positions, probably might end up outpacing and out-earning the guys in the future. So I do agree with that. But it's for a different reason.
What's the reason?
Unfortunately, sometimes it's not necessarily because of their journalistic integrity. If we're being honest, a lot of times, a lot of the men, they just want to see a pretty woman on the screen. So I've had people joke about different
Who
weather
are you alluding
women,
to?
and
Are you alluding, Jason? Because Jalen Rose he's married to Molly. That's on. Are you referring to him?
no, just people in
You
general.
trying to break up a
I'm
happy home, bro? Is that what you trying to do?
No, not at all. I don't advocate for that. No, but seriously, I do think that these women will be on pace to end up out earning the men in the future.
Okay. So, are you saying that Maria not deserve to move up in the company and cover the NBA
Well,
finals?
I I don't know about that portion, so I would have to take a look at their resumes. You could have two qualified people in a
I can pull up
situation.
the resume right now if you like.
Okay, how would you compare Rachel's resume compared to Maria's?
All right. Well, I would say before I get into that, I definitely want to give out a shout out to what Swanee said. I want you to answer this, but he said it's all about Rachel's connection to the game, better known as white privilege. So let's talk about that, and then I'll get back to the resumes. What you think about Swanee G comments on that?
I I 100% agree that some of it may, like I said, who you're sleeping with, that that makes a huge difference there.
Mm.
So whether it's through regular connections, whether it's through husband, I mean, we have some people who are in very high places, male and female, based off of who they know. And in fact, just to share with you a quick story, one of my sons, was helping someone to move who was a former Steeler. I won't say who, but
Mm.
he was sitting there complaining about, I don't feel like doing a moving job. But I'm like, it's not about the moving job. It's not about the pay. It's not about any of that. Yeah, I mean, of course, I told him to go get that money. But I'm like, you want to make these type of connections. Yeah, this is a well-known black former Steeler, and I'm like, you want to make those type of connections because you don't know how that's going to affect you in the future. So I definitely agree with Swanee in regards to the connections part. But what I will say is that whether it's white, black, if you got connections with powerful people in powerful places, or if you're married to them to make it even better, then yeah, you're going to end up having the edge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So I guess we're trying to change. Well, I'm gonna say we, but they're trying to change that. But it definitely is nepotism at its finest. You're not gonna mess with Diane Sawyer. That's her mother-in-law, bro. Because these comments are out here, and she's not suspended. She's not fired. She actually did those comments with who was on there? LeBron James team, and she's cool with LeBron James. See, when Rachel came out, it's funny, and bear with me. A lot of people gonna like this or not, but white people's their businesses on black labor. So
Mm.
I can go way back. We can talk about the slave days, move forward than that. But let's just talk about Fox. Fox. Now you had CBS, ABC, NBC. They ran TV. I remember even Trump couldn't get through that wall, right? when Trump tried to get that football team to try to combat against the NFL, but the NFL had a monopoly on the networks. There's only three. I think football was on CS at the time. I can't remember. Someone can correct me on that. But try to come in and say we're going to sue you because you have a monopoly on the game, and they lost. Therefore, the company depleted and it's no more. So let's look at Fox. Fox was a new company, right? And what they did was they had little sketch shows on there. And that's when The Simpsons came on, and then they start having some raunchy stuff like was that Married with Children? But how they blew up, they given African Americans a shot. So guess the first person they gave a shot to? The Wayans brothers. The Wayans brothers. What's the show? Living Color. They blew it out the water to a point where they did a halftime show, and they got most of the country to go from CBS to Fox during a halftime show, right? Because of the power of the pen from the Wayans brothers. The next year, the NFL got Michael Jackson to do the halftime show. No one ever, you get what I'm saying? But let's go back to Fox. So then they end up getting the Martin Show, Living Single. HBO blew up because of Def Comedy Jam. You had New York Undercover. And then the UPN had all them shows. And then once you get on, they throw you out with the bathwater. So back to Nichols. She seems like a person. I'm not throwing shots at her. We just have an objective perspective here. She's really good at what she do. You were right when you said her qualifications. She qualified for it. She's been working for the last almost 30 years doing her thing. But when she got her start, she went to the young who would talk to her because nobody would talk to her. The old players wouldn't talk to her. It was the Kwame Browns. Kwame, one of her first interviews was Kwame.
Oh.
It was Matt Barnes and all them young players who didn't get in the limelight, but she would interview them. So, but there's a point she had to get her start. She had to take somebody's job, right?
Uh-huh.
So there's only one job. So, I don't know. I mean, if you're working for a company, you're not, like Rachel's money's not going down. She has a contract. So why are you up that another person took your job? And one thing that she did say is, she said she don't blame her. She said she blames ESPN for putting her in that position. So real quickly, I'm gonna play. We're gonna chop it out. I'm gonna play what Steven Jackson said. All right, let's take off the screen real quick. Second. You got time or no? Just let me know.
I'm good.
You good?
Yep.
All right, 1 second. Well, before I get in that, we gotta show friends blew up because they stole the script from. That is the truth, and they got millions and millions of dollars. It's so crazy. I was watching the one not the other guy. He was on Vlad talking about that, and he tried to speak up. What was his name? Do you know that? Maybe look it up. The guy. Yeah, he was the smooth guy on Living Single, the black dark skin guy.
Guy who played Kyle Barker.
Yep, him. He tried to speak up for them, and they fired him. If you go to season 5, folks, go to season 5, and you'll notice he was there, and they wrote him out the script. They wrote him out the script because he wanted more money, and he saw what our friends was making and how they took that, and they wrote him out and put some other guy in there, and then the show was off after season 5. But go on Hulu and check that out. I'm gonna play.
I didn't even notice that until that interview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is a problem. That's why I feel like you got to be some ownership, man. You just got to do your own thing, man. If you own platform, you won't have to worry about this, And but this is what Stephen Jackson said. Give me a second.
Rachel did deserve that job. It's just plain and simple. I talked to Rachel, and I know a lot of things she was saying out of frustration because ESPN put her in a bad position, and they even put Maria in a position of trying to give Maria a sympathy job. They was trying to make themselves look good because all the Black Lives Matter and the George Floyd stuff was going on. So ESPN tried to make themselves look good by taking the job from Rachel that she had already had, that they'd already told her she had, that she deserved, and give it to Maria just to make themselves look good. It wasn't a genuine job they wanted to give Maria. It's ESPN is behind all this, bro. It's all their fault. You know what I'm saying? I can't blame Rachel. I love Rachel, and I'm going to stand behind her. I spoke to her, and I'm going to stand behind Maria, too. But ESPN, y'all some suckers. Y'all some suckers because y'all did this. Y'all tried to give Maria a job, and it wasn't genuine. And look what happened. Come on, man. It's all ESPN fault. We love both of them. Think about this, though, bro. How many times?
Can you hear me? You there?
Yeah. Yep. Are you just fine?
All right, so what do you think about that? What he just said about it's ESPN's fault and about Black Lives Matter. They're trying to do all these things for that. What do you think?
I agree that's a component. I guess that's kind of what I was saying a different way in the beginning. How a lot of these companies, and I'm not saying that Maria is unqualified. Obviously from some of the things that I've been hearing, she's definitely qualified to do the job, but they're not equal. And during that time, there were a lot of things that that ended up happening. You got different deals with Nike going on. Everyone wanted to be Black Lives Matter friendly, I guess, so to say. You had I remember walking down the street, I saw the Indian store. I'll say one of the Indian not Indian store, but one of the Indian food restaurants that I know that I've seen some racist stuff go on in there before. All of a sudden they have a Black Lives Matter sign on their window. They're more so trying to keep themselves from getting destruction to their store.
Okay, so you think this is a simple job for Maria? Hello, can you? All right, I'm gonna play a little bit more of this.
Times we as black people have said that we was qualified. We know we qualified. We know we qualified for the job, but we didn't get it because they gave it to the white person just because he was white. How mad were we? Because they looking out for their own. How mad were we? When you know you deserve the job and they give it to a white person just because he white. We've been dealing with that our whole life. And that pisses us off. We ain't getting recorded, but we say shit too behind closed doors. So I get it. I get it why Rachel mad. Rachel ain't never showed me no signs of being racist. But I would be mad too if I worked my whole life for a job and they gonna give it to a white dude just because Donald Trump in office. Or just because a white kid got killed and at the time it'll look better for a white person to have a job. I would be mad too. It's just the facts. I ain't trying to be liked. I'm speaking the truth. We rocking with both of them, Maria and Rach, but this is the truth. And back one more thing for y'all, IG world. Y'all got to be real with yourselves. A lot of y'all can't be real with yourselves, and a lot of y'all looking for handouts. A lot of y'all don't.
Man, he's saying people look handouts.
I ain't know Steven Jackson went in like that.
Should he be on the train? Is they going to put him? I want to hear from the people. Is the people going to put him outside the culture? or on the truth? That's the question.
Wow. Well, I know one
Her,
thing
man.
that those type of statements that I didn't watch Kwame, but Kwame probably saying he in the go along, get along gang for real now. So I'm not sure.
Now I watched this show for I cut it up though, but yeah, he went in on him. He's definitely back for Maria Taylor, and but it was an hour and 29 minutes. So I didn't finish watching, but he was going in on all of them. Stephen A. Smith. That's how I found out about Rachel's the nepotism with her. You know. So, but I'm saying she's good though. She. I can't say she's not good at what she do. You know. But that's what companies do. You know, companies they play on that. And here's the thing now, because probably got her job also because she probably used the feminist card.
Mm.
Talking about Rachel.
Yep.
And like earlier, there's gonna be fights now. So now it's gonna be the transgender fight. They're gonna say we need the first transgender on there. We need the first Asian. So it's not enough jobs. So it's gonna be interesting, you know. But I'm gonna continue to play. A lot of people called Stephen A. sellout. Stephen Jackson a sellout after this. But let's
Deserve nothing because you've been sitting at home not putting in the work and complaining about other people. Why they doing this or why them and not me? But when you deserve something, when you put in the work for it, you should be mad when you don't get it.
now, guys, if you're on Facebook, try to get on a YouTube stream so you can comment. Because a lot of people go on Facebook and comment, and sometimes I don't see it because I don't have my worker helping me out there. All right, but yeah. are you on Facebook right now, Will?
No, I'm on. I have the YouTube in the background.
Okay, all right. I wonder if I might have just go on Facebook and see. Give me a second. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna go on Facebook and see if anybody.
A lot of y'all won't understand that because y'all home still living off your mama, still living in your mama house, and wondering why you ain't winning or ain't got nothing going on. I'm gonna hit y'all with harsh truth. I am the face for equality, but I also am the face of being black and proud and being strong and going to get what's mine. Not asking no white person or nobody to give me nothing. I'm going to take what's mine, like I've been.
Doesn't that sound like a conservative?
Yeah, whole lot.
Oh, you know, black people don't like that, man. They don't like to hear that. He's starting to say conservative views. He said you should be able to get it on your own. Don't get handouts. Is he trading? Wasn't he marching last year and telling people to?
Oh.
Doing. But y'all quick to forget when the jump first started, Rachel hired all black people. Remember that. I told y'all I'm gonna make y'all hate me, cause y'all, especially the people that don't like the truth. Half of y'all hanging around niggas, hoping that they make y'all dream come true, and hanging around them. And as soon as they tell y'all no, they a fuck nigga, or they ain't real because they told you no, because they tired of you benefiting off their blessing. You been around them all this time, been around all the people they been around, had the same connections, met the same people he met, but you still sitting around waiting for somebody to hand you something.
Who's he talking about? Who is he talking about? Is he talking about Maria, or is he talking about people who's hitting them up? Now this video is chopped up, so I didn't watch the whole thing, but man, he sounded like a black Republican.
Instead of you getting on your ass, doing something with the connections and making something work for yourself. A lot of y'all in this mind frame, and a lot of y'all stuck in this attitude of blaming white people for why you ain't made it. Yeah, we know we started off behind. They put us in a bad position.
Oh man, shots fired! Shots fired! you hear this?
Must have been on Steven Jackson's heart for a while.
Oh man, come on.
I'm mad. You know what I'm
Why
saying?
you mad? Why you mad, Steve? Come on, tell him why you mad, Steve.
Ask me no question. I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad.
From the jump, they got ahead, but it's time for you to learn for yourself. We got more black millionaires than any time. Half these rappers didn't graduate high school, but they millionaires because they shot. They got off their ass and tried. But a lot of y'all looking for an excuse for why you ain't made it. Don't blame nobody, blame yourself. Get up off your ass and put in the work. Ain't nobody holding you back. That's you.
Wow.
All righty then. Shots fired. Come on, stop shooting while you're down, man. Stop shooting. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let me get this off the screen, man. Somebody calling
Wow.
me right now. I bet you. Kwame gonna get him. Kwame gonna get you. Man, what's your thoughts,
Wow.
man?
Well, that's my first time hearing that, and I was not expecting to hear that from Steven Jackson. You know, I agree with a lot of what he's saying. I don't know the person it's coming from. I'm just like, wow. I wouldn't have expected that. But
Oh, you know,
like I said,
that's
I think
what Kwame Brown called his zaddy. Got to defend his dad.
Mm.
So you say you agree with everything he's saying? I wonder who he's
for
talking to.
most part. Now there could be a chance that there's someone behind this. You know, there could be a chance that Steven Jackson might be bought. You know,
You
but
think there's a battery in his back, huh?
could be so. It just doesn't align with a lot of his previous messages.
Now, this is where he's going.
All white people ain't bad.
You're on that coon train.
We is our own worst enemy. All white people ain't bad.
CNN on there too.
We is our own worst enemy. What about black on black crime?
Is he going to be on that coon train now?
Oh man! Wow.
You got Kwame on. You got what's his name? Stephen A. on there. His name that Don Lemon. Is he gonna be on that train now?
Mm.
Let's run it back.
All white people ain't bad. We is our own worst enemy. All white people ain't bad. We is our own worst enemy.
Oh man, hilarious! Swatty said he must be getting. I mean, he is. He got that Showtime back now. He rich, man. He brand new. Kwame talks about. Matter of fact, Kwame he was talking about him. He was like he be trying to act like a thug, but when he went up in the mountains of the palace, they knocked his teeth out, so he got new teeth, and he tried to act like he's a gangster, and he hang with Matt Barnes and stuff like that. But that's his girl, man. He loved. This is the whole reason why this Kwame Brown phenomenon blew up because, well, one of the reasons he was with her. She instigated it, so she's getting it too. According to Kwame, Kwame ain't playing. He's like, anybody say his name about these athletes, and they're messing up their contracts because they're talking about their lives. He's coming for her, you know. So she's on the list. But like I said, I don't know, man. I mean, it's just unfortunate because he is right. Everybody, including everybody on here, definitely hit them likes and having a notification. But everybody here has some type of talk about somebody behind closed doors. It just happened to be recorded. You know, now somebody talking who's watching this at work in the break room, they probably talking about you. That's the way the structure is. You know, there's only one person that could be at the top. That's the biggest pyramid scheme I ever saw. To die for you to get that position. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody had to die, retire. So I think the corporate structure, people fighting and telling on each other, and quite honestly, like I said, shout out to this book right here. But right there, $40 million slave. But anyway, in any corporation, you know, you try to get to the top, and if your officials can't do it, you're gonna try to get people out of there. You got nepotism going on. There's so many jobs that I worked at. Like, there's no way I was going to get up to the top unless you're going to sell out. How far are you going to go? Yeah. And but for the people who maybe just on, you know, Rachel Nichols, man, she's related to Diane Sawyer. That's her mother-in-law. And she runs ABC, if you ask me. Diane Sawyer. And Max Bijou that runs Hollywood. I mean, he died in 2014, but like he wrote some serious flicks. You know. But I digress. Let me see. I'm gonna play this video real quick. You got a little bit more time, or you got to go?
All right, man. I'm here for it all. All the smoke.
All right, let me see. Now, I did play. I'm gonna play this video. I think it's one where you can hear LeBron's little team talking to her. Let me see if I can.
In the NBA Finals, so what did you do as a sideline reporter job for the NBA Finals? Because guess what that was clearly away for? For Maria to do the hosting for us. Yeah. So, I have declined. I don't know what their next move is, but they are feeling pressure because of all of that, and I'm trying to figure out like how to just, my thing is that I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football, she covers basketball. If you need to give her more things to do because you're feeling pressure about your crappy longtime record on university, which by the way I myself know personally from the female side of it, go for it. Just find it somewhere else. Like you're not gonna find it with me.
I can't really hear that. I don't know if you had the same issues, but she was talking to one of LeBron's little team. I want to say I have to look it up, but I don't know if it was the agent that works for LeBron. I don't know, but they're all tight group. So I don't know. I digress. Let me get this screen out of here. But anyway, oh man, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. That's more exciting to the NBA Finals. You have Milwaukee in there with the Suns. And I think this is more exciting than to talk about. What you think?
Yeah, it's a. I think maybe that game we might be underrating it. Maybe it might be a surpriser. I don't know. Maybe, but we gotta have the drama in there. Gotta have the different angles. I mean, if we're being honest, sorry about the echo. Yeah, if we're being honest, sports in itself isn't all that exciting. You have to have all these different storylines and things going on. So I think that, you know, what they're doing with that, this is only the tip of the iceberg. This is going to be a great other types of media week.
Right. And it's going to be very interesting because usually, you know, the journalist will go after the person. Will they confront her to ask her these questions? You know, like they would do the athlete. You know what I mean? But
No, that's
think,
qualified journalist immunity there. I don't I don't think
that's
it
what I was
works.
thinking. Your career might be ended if you mess with her. Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I want to see what Maria Taylor said, but maybe go on her Twitter, see if she said anything. You got your phone on you?
Yeah, I'm gonna just check that right now. You know how a lot of times they won't say anything initially till their publicist lets them know what to say, but sometimes it just slips out. Let's see what Maria Taylor got to say.
She quiet.
Yep, just like I thought. Quiet.
Somebody's in her ear. She's smart. Hey, I wonder if she. I mean, she's trying to get the bag. She could. Sue her.
Yeah. I mean, I think that that's a smart move on her end. You know, sometimes you gotta just like be quiet, let it you know.
Still there? Did I lose you?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep. Now, do you think she deserves much as money? I think she wants more money. She wants to get paid like the Bergs and the Stephen A. Smiths. I'm referring to Maria Taylor. Do you think that she deserves that money?
Not now, but like I said earlier, it's gonna, the way that things are going, it's gonna change to where she'll be, you know, people like her will eventually be getting paid more.
Think that deserves
Stephen A. Smith, as much as you know, I may not like some of the things that he does, he earned his paycheck. I'll definitely give him that. He's doing it. He's doing exactly what he said. He said he's making millions for his bosses, and that's an understatement.
If you see how he was in the beginning of his career, now, you know, he mastered the art of getting people to watch him. You know, I'm gonna play this clip. See if can you let me know if you can hear it, or I'm gonna see if I can play it. Give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. See if you let me know if you can hear. Oh, I think I know where I messed up at. I think I know what I did. Let me come back. I think I got this situation fixed. All right, I'm gonna do it again. Give me 1 second. See if
It's cool. While we went, you got me messed up. I keep on hearing that NBA in my head, as you did that earlier.
Such a great tune. I still like it. All right, let me know if you can hear this audio.
Reggie Jackson deserves it, and he's playing that.
Well, if that's the case, Maria need a raise.
Yep.
Reggie Jackson had 9 20-point games so far this postseason, only 7 during the regular season. Everyone's playing for the bag.
You got an MVP vote, you got a Heisman vote. You know what I'm saying? The most unique talent in the game.
Okay, well, how about this? Pick the game for me.
You hear that advocate? Can you hear that audio?
Yeah, sounded fine.
Okay. All right, yeah.
So,
I was thinking.
I've been looking at mattresses online.
The ones.
But you hear that they're trying to get her more money. I don't think she deserves it. Put in the work, man. My thing is like until they give you a show, let them give you a show first and see if you can get the ratings. You know, you gotta come up like else. You know, see if people gonna watch you. In my opinion, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She out here pocket watching, man. Hold on, I'm gonna put on the part when Stephen A. Smith. Wait a second, Kwame. One moment. Who am I looking for? Not Skip Bayless. What's the dude? Jalen Rose. That's right. I spelled it wrong, but no, that's not how you spell his name. But anyway, keep talking, man. I'm listening, man. You're doing good, man. Keep going.
Yeah, but now, how long has Maria been on the scene?
I want to say I wrote it down. Thing. She graduated school in 2013, so it had to be like 2014. She went to she's from Georgia, and she went to let me stop that right there. She went to university. She was a volleyball player, and then matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull her stuff up. All right, go. Let me share my screen again.
And what did you say she played again?
Volleyball.
Oh.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, so
Here's the point that I'm making, okay? Stephen A. So when we talk about the careers, you said she graduated in what, 2013? Was that right?
Yeah, she became a sideline reporter for ESPN 2 in 2013. She covered football.
Okay. That's not normal. You know, a lot of people, they're coming through, you know, writing positions, production assistants, and different things like that. A lot of people who are going to school for that to be anchors and things of the sort, they end up not staying in those positions. Like I know people who had to leave a bigger city and go to a smaller city, and it still didn't work out. Now, when I look back at Stephen A. Smith's career, you know, he started off as a writer back in 1994. Right. You didn't really hear him on radio till 2005.
Right.
2000 and, you know, like 7 and let me see. Let me look at this. No, 2009. That's when he you know, no, that was Fox Sports Radio. So there's a long time before he even really got, you know, pretty big on television. It says let's see, 2005 he had an hour-long show on ESPN, quite frankly, with Stephen A. Smith. So there's a 10-year gap, but they use the shows to be able to test, you know, whether you're going to end up standing the test of time. So I'm not saying that she's not deserving of it, because maybe Maria, she might be putting in 18-hour days every day and like really push it. She might have a set of connections that is unreal. That might be the situation. But I can tell you that's not most people. And I don't know too many people who work harder than, you know, Stephen A. Smith. I mean, well, Steve Harvey. but you know, I don't know too many, you know, people who work like that. And his road was a lot longer. So if she's able to get there, I honestly think that some of it did have to do with what was going on, you know, within the culture and within the media, the Black Lives Matter thing. While at the same time, I believe she was a qualified individual. Both things can be true at the same time. And
are you saying, I mean, should we go off of experience or should we go off of talent? Because, you know, you have people that come in the NFL and they number one running back coming from high school, I mean, from college because of what they've done. Maria Taylor, like I said, I watch her. You know, there's certain people I watch that's on there I don't like to watch. You know, I think they're not as good, but it seems like she knows her knowledge of sports. She was a former athlete and collegiate athlete, and she is pretty good.
In the pyramid scheme called American Corporation, typically experience has a heavier weighing than talent. Experience and connections.
But let me push back here. Stephen A. Smith, you remember what ESPN did when they aired the UFC and they put Stephen A. Smith on the UFC to talk about fighting? So I'm gonna pull that up. How did he get that job?
How did he get it?
Yeah, because he's not qualified.
Tenure. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that in the American corporation system, experience and I think I said networks have a heavier weighing than talent. Talent is at everything. Now, I think that it should be, but you know, he was on there. Was he next to Joe Rogan on that same show?
Yes, I'm going to give me 1 second. I'm here. We're going to get
so that was the weird thing about that, because Joe Rogan was the guy who had the experience, the tenure, and the talent all packaged in one. And Stephen A. gets on there.
Right. What these corporations do, put unqualified people in positions, don't they? So let's check this out.
Mm-hmm.
His position regain where he used to be, when he was hungry, when he was desperate. And that's why he fought so intensely tonight.
This is tough for me because here I'm standing next to a legend, okay? And far be it for me to refute anything that Joe Rogan says, but here's my reality. We haven't learned a damn thing about Conor McGregor based off of this fight.
Really?
Because who were you? Listen, the man did not get hit other than one kick to the arm. That's it. I mean, he didn't.
Look at Joe Rogan's face.
Hit that much in the last week, okay? And I was like, I mean, come on, y'all. The fact of the matter is, we don't know, and we know that Conor McGregor is a champion.
He's like, he don't know what he's talking about.
We know that he's box office. He's phenomenal for the sport. We're all happy he won. If you love this sport, you got to be happy that Conor McGregor won. But you didn't learn anything from tonight's fight because Cowboy Cerrone just didn't show up. I could have ran for 40 seconds.
I disagree. We learned.
We
learned he rises to the occasion. We learned he could put Cowboy away. We learned that he could land a head kick. We learned that he could beat him down. Okay. We learned that this guy performs when the lights are on him. We already knew that. But we learned that he was focused, and we saw, I've been aware of his training. He was in tip-top shape for this. And he was treating this like this is a potential resurrection of his career. Nurmagomedov humiliated. Floyd Mayweather humiliated him. So there's two humiliating losses in a row. This was his return, and it was a pretty significant return.
I could stand corrected on that because what he's saying is when you look at what Conor McGregor did, you can take something from seeing what he did based on what he's done in the past. He was knocking guys out in the past.
Stephen A. Smith don't belong there. Keep him. Pay attention. He just got that job because he got a loud mouth. Let's keep going.
With his fist. This time it was a leg kick. It was the shoulder. So that's something new. All I'm alluding to is what Cowboy Cerrone was incapable of taking inside of 40 seconds. Like you said, Joe, if you're done in 15 15 seconds. It's hard for me. I understand what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with it. I get it. I learned something from you tonight. I got that. In terms of what Conor McGregor, something different came to his arsenal. But my Lord, you couldn't back up Cowboy Cerrone. You couldn't catch a deep breath. You couldn't circle the octagon just a little bit, get your bearings on you. You couldn't do anything. 40 seconds?
There was not a
40
challenge.
seconds.
There was not a challenge that maybe even.
So these two black guys didn't know what they were talking about. He's looking at them like, what are you doing? Why did ESPN get these dudes around me?
Conor McGregor expected.
Did you hear that?
I didn't know Joe was that little.
Yeah, he's like 5'6", but he got the paws on you though. Yeah, he's small.
I'll stay away, but the podcast, sometimes makes people look a little bit bigger than they are.
He's always sitting down, man. What you think? That's Laura Farquaad. Let me see. Yeah. So yeah. So these people deserve these positions, man. Let me see. So this is Joe Rogan talking about it. Let's see.
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google. Our privacy and security features help keep
the Joe Rogan experience.
So I looked at your Instagram yesterday, and you had that video of Stephen A. Smith, and immediately I was like, "Oh my goodness, this explains so much." Play this, play this, Jamie. Watch this. First of all, someone needs to explain to me what's happening here.
Yeah, well, it looks like a dick punch to the left.
I don't even think it's a dick, unless that guy's got a 2-foot dick. Look how low he's punching.
No idea, man.
This guy should not be allowed to talk about fighting.
Yeah, look, I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack. Only, I seriously, we had this, here's the thing, with Strikeforce, we had kind of a similar situation, not like this though, by the way, with Gus Johnson.
I remember,
when Gus was trying to talk him, and I love Gus. When he's talking basketball, I think he's got the energy and the voice that makes people like, oh wow, they're gripped to the TV. This, I can understand with Stephen A., but this is not what you want to release. After you just called someone who's a pioneer in the sport, you basically call him a quitter.
You call a guy a quitter. First of all, he had a broken orbital bone, okay? You saying he was a quitter? He got his face smashed, okay? He got cracked by one of the biggest punchers in the sport. Yeah. He has the most wins in the sport. He has the most wins by finish. He has the most bonuses. I mean, come on. He has the most fights. Come on. You're calling that guy a quitter? He got cracked. That's what happens. Look, fighting is the only sport that you could end it early, right? You can't end a football game in 40 seconds. Imagine if your front line was so strong, your fucking quarterback was so badass, you could storm a football game in 40 seconds. There'd be a different sport.
Yeah,
right?
My concern with him though was that, like, look, he's fine. He just did the video. I get it. Like, it's good that you're trying to learn the sport, but I gotta tell you, like, DC sent me this video and he basically commented on it, and I said, D's trying to protect it. DC's trying to protect him. I said, you cannot protect this guy, not from this.
No.
You can't call someone like Cowboy Cerrone or any other top guy in any organization. I don't care if it's UFC, Bellator, One, any of them. All these organizations, you cannot do that to these guys. These guys lay it on the line every time. We're not.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. But they
deserve that position.
Yeah. I mean, but he has the tenure and the connections. The only thing with that is he didn't know what he's talking about at all.
Right. Bad enough you got a earpiece in your ear. Somebody couldn't tell you the information, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Like that's he's big on controversy, but that didn't work in that thing. So you had two guys who don't know anything about UFC doing commentary at the end of the game, and that's the main thing that I'm gonna give you an example. That's the Stephen A. Smith always talk about Max Kellerman talking about he don't know anything about basketball, and why talking to you.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So.
Stephen A. was over there. He was feeling like Kevin Hardy over there, like, help me.
It's live too. I was watching that one. I was watching that live too. So I was like, he don't belong there. But anyway,
It happens though in all sorts of systems. Like it happens in education. It's all
Real
we've
quick.
all seen managers. Okay.
real quick, just hold that thought. But I'm gonna play what Stephen A. talks about Max Kellerman, talking about he's qualified to talk about this.
Join us for the Walt Disney World 50th anniversary, the world's most magical celebration, beginning October 1st.
What are you talking about? The fact of the matter is, you walked into a game against the Utah Jazz. Hold on, Max. We let you speak, and you ain't the basketball guy, and we let you do most of the talking. Paul Malone and John Stockton was the offense. I just finished telling you when it come to boxing, I lay off. Did I not? I did say that. In other words, what I'm saying is I understand that's your level of expertise. Every time you open your mouth about basketball, it's clear this ain't your expertise. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Then how
The
come I'm right
offense
so
between
often in
John
these
Stockton
debates?
and Karl Malone, the offense between those two, that's what their offense was predicated on. Isaiah Thomas had everybody. It wasn't about them offensively. It was Isaiah Thomas's offense. It was Stockton to Malone in Utah. Isaiah Thomas was surrounded by a bunch of defenders, hustle guys, rough riders, and what have you. He was the face of that franchise and the face of their offense. He was their number one option. There has never been a game. Be the first to tell you, he couldn't guard anybody. He had to take.
Or are you taking John Stockton?
Isaiah Thomas compared to a guy who passes the ball and plays defense and shoots.
Everybody knows.
Man,
I just re-upped with ESPN. I'm not complaining about my paycheck, okay? But I want to announce to the world, I should get extra for having to listen to this dribble from Max Kellerman. I should be paid extra. This is believable. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I should get paid extra for having to listen to it.
Hey, you see why you on the TV, right?
Wow.
That was actually entertaining. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm like, this is onslaught. Poor Max.
Hey man, you imagine if you would have said that to a woman? Yeah, but it's cool, man. But yeah, I'm probably gonna start ending this call. Man, it's raining out here, man. In that tropical storm, man. It's just raining out here, man.
Oh man, yeah. Is it scary out there yet? Does it sound like the T-Rex is coming?
No, it ain't like a tornado or nothing like that. I'm trying. I'd be like, there's no place like home. I'll be trying to look for shelter down here, man. Man, they wiped out Albany one time. Ooh-wee. Albany. But yeah, I learned, man. You know, I've been down here. This is probably like my third or fourth hurricane coming through here, so I learned how to maneuver through the sewer. You know, when it first came, I was nervous because I never experienced, like, you know, coming from Pittsburgh, you're not used to that. But I got used to it. They're like, man, it's coming nowhere. Now, if it's Category 5, that's when I'm like driving up 75 South like I did a couple years ago. Man, it went through Pensacola. I mean, not Pensacola, Panama City, and that's like what, 2 hours away from me. And once it hit Panama City, the Category 5, I said, kids, get in the car now. I drove. I was driving up north, man. Shoot. I remember one year I had to come back. I came from Pittsburgh and I had to drive back down here. And that was like my first real storm. And I just remember, like, there was no cars on the road going the direction I'm going. It was kind of scary, you know. But it is what it is. It's what it is, man. What do you say?
So was you over there like Arnold, like, get out?
Oh yeah, get down. You know, it was just raining. I mean, there was a tree that fell on the neighbor's house, my old house. You know, it is what it is. I ain't scared of them no more now.
Till y'all get that 1 inch of snow. That's when the city fall apart, huh?
Oh man, I did see snow one time, man. One time I saw snow down here. It snowed for 30 minutes. The snow was on the porch. My kid played in it. He don't even remember it. And then it melted. It went to 0 to 100 real quick, 100 degrees. But it rarely snowed. I like it down here, man, because it's like I said, you get all 4 seasons every day. You know, during the day, you got to put the air conditioning on, and at night you got to put the heat on. It's crazy, you know. But I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna start wrapping up real quick, man. Appreciate you getting on. You got anything going on with the T and J radio show this week?
You know, we're gonna be talking about the dumb stuff, so you know, we'll have to put it out there whether the show's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday, pending weather difficulties. But
no, man, we're going live Wednesday. I thought about it. If the hurricane, it's just gonna be a hurricane party.
Ooh. So if y'all see the lights go out on on LeBron's end, you know, that's why.
I'm gonna be on my phone. I'll be on my phone like I see dead people.
Cool,
I'm like, get some help,
well,
please. But no, it ain't gonna like that. But yeah, we're gonna do Wednesday, give or take. If not, we'll just do it Tuesday or Thursday. But it's gonna be live. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, man.
Okay.
I will get
Appreciate you having me on
later. All right.
Yep. Thank you.
Oh man, Will checking in, man. That was good. Good segment, man. Yeah. So people out here, man, if you definitely see that down there, Cash App a brother, LR Josie 412. We supporting the show. You know, shout outs to the people who does. Doesn't matter if you send $1 or $5, man. Appreciate the love. Yeah, like I was saying, I'm probably going to do a show on TJ. I'm actually going to start doing more lives with the sports channel. If I can, I'm probably going to do it around lunchtime. Sometimes I'll do nighttime due to the finals because I want to cover that a little bit. Again, I'm going to get up out of here, and I will holler at y'all another time.